is occurring for people from those 7 countries. I'm here. I'd be happy to answer questions, and I'm honored to be here to speak with you tonight.
Thank you very much. Before we take questions and give you answers, I just want to add to the directives or the advice that was given. If you know of a family member who falls under these conditions, or a friend, and is coming to the United States in the next couple of weeks, email us their information, their full name, their flight number, their airport of origin, airport that will precede O'Hare, as well as any other information that you think is helpful, but that's the important information that we need. Do take copies of green cards or copies of passports, keep them with you, but that information you can email to me, AREHAB @care.com, Rehab@care.com. So we can build a database of the potential vulnerabilities that are coming through O'Hare, and then be able to alert our attorneys on the ground on those particular days and times that we're expecting this person. Look out for a contact from us regarding that person. Helps us to streamline things. 2, give advice to everyone you know that we've heard there is pressure in various airports, hasn't happened at O'Hare yet, where officers are asking or trying to coerce travelers who are on a green card to voluntarily give up their green card. To sign an I-407, it's a document that says that they voluntarily give up their green card. You have a right not to sign this document. We advise you, of course, not to sign this document. A person who's submitted to this or subjected to this should say, I would like to see an immigration judge. They should be admitted in order to see an immigration judge. And when they get an appointment to do so, more likely than not, they're going to have a more understanding person in the judge, because the judge is a neutral arbiter of the law and not someone following political directives. So do not sign the I-407 and advise your family members and friends not to sign it either. That is a right that you have, even if you're under pressure. Resist and say no. Lastly, if you have any other concerns, as always, feel free to reach out to us. You know CARE Chicago, you have the website, carechicago.org, you have the number, you have the email. We're here to serve you, and this is a long fight. This is just the beginning. As Calvin said, those 7 countries concern all of us, because we know they're not after those 7 countries, they're after Muslims, they're after Latinos, they're after African Americans, they're after various different communities, okay? So we're the first to stand up for national security. We're the first to do what we can to ensure a secure, safe, prosperous nation as citizens of this country. But we're never going to allow lies and fabrications to obfuscate what that means by targeting our citizens or non-citizens based on their religion or national origin. That's just discrimination. That's wrong. That disrupts life. That divides families. That's just evil. We stand against that. Okay? And we're going to, as you all know, have our event February 18 at Drury Lane. And there we're going to try to get more support from the community so we can go for the long run, for the long distance. And I'll be there. And Calvin will be there, as will many of our allies. More information is on our website. But we'd love your support to keep on doing the work that we're doing, be able to hire more attorneys to do this work, okay? So we're going to take a few more minutes just to answer some direct questions before we're going to head back to the protests and back to the airport. So if you have a question, raise your hand, and I'm going to ask Calvin to come back up here to the microphone, make it brief, and he'll give you a brief answer. Thank you. We'll start with you, sir. You can just speak out loud.
Brother and sister who are refugee here now, are they going to be affected, or?
If they're from one of the 7 countries,
Yes.
we don't know yet what's going to happen. We have gotten word that the USCIS has been ordered to discontinue processing petitions for adjustment of status and for other benefits under the immigration law for citizens from those countries. We don't know what's going to happen. And I haven't seen the actual document saying that, but all day I've been reading reports from being leaked by people inside. So I want you to know that not everyone in the government who works at the Department of Homeland Security are bad people. And we have been getting documents sent to us and information given to us by phone from people working in the government who are horrified by what our government is doing. So you need to understand that this is not business as usual. I wouldn't be here to tell you that I'm frightened of fascism if I wasn't frightened. I'm frightened. Jews know what fascism is like. 6 million of us died in Europe because of Christians who did acts of murder against us. So I understand this, and I warn you that this is a dangerous time. And in a time of danger, what we need is unity. We all need to be together. We all need to work together. I don't know for sure, but it is very possible that people from these countries will not have their asylum applications adjudicated, that there will be a hold on all applications for permanent residence and other benefits.
And they should seek an immigration attorney immediately. Did you have your hand up? Oh, you did.
So, as a citizen, what can we do for you guys to help you, move forward or whatnot?
There are many, many things to be done. Amongst the things that need to be done is we need to get people out and in the streets together, working together. I was at a march today that began at the mosque in Morton Grove. There were somewhere around 2,000 people marching down Dempster, back to the mosque. We had politicians, Jan Schakowsky, others there. I would say that half the marchers were Muslim and half were Jewish and Christian. We marched together, we chanted together, and we need to stay together. We need to be reaching out to our elected officials and demand that they reject what Trump is doing. And we need to do that with Democrats, and to the extent we have Republican representatives, we need to do it with them. We need to reach out to everyone that we can to express our outrage at what our government is doing and figure out strategies to win this fight and defeat Trump and his allies.
I would also add, if you want something direct to do, if you're busy and you're not an activist and you can't be one, support those who are. Support our organizations, basically. We build them for no other reason than to represent us in this line of work and to connect with others, to amplify our voices together. So support Care Chicago, support any organization that is doing work on the ground. We had a hand up back there, sir, sitting down.
How much the citizens of those countries are affected with this executive law?
How does this affect citizens of those 7 countries with this executive order?
Citizens of those countries are U.S. citizens.
U.S. citizen?
Right. U.S. citizens who are also dual citizens, basically.
Okay, to the best of my knowledge, if you are a U.S. citizen but you are from one of those countries, your rights are as a U.S. citizen. But I do want to tell people that we dual national, so if you are a citizen of Great Britain and a citizen of Syria or were born in Syria, the government has been treating people at the airports as if they're only a citizen of Syria. So U.S. citizens, you have the rights of a U.S. citizen, even if you also have citizenship in another country. But if you are dual national, but one of the nationalities is not the United States, then you will be treated like you are only a citizen from one of the 7 countries. We hope that changes, but that's the last interpretation I heard.
So Chicago is a sanctuary city, and the mayor has mentioned that it's going to stay. So do you advise that we approach the mayor of this land and have him declare this land, because none of these community members live here?
Let's repeat the question. Chicago is a sanctuary city. Should we ask the mayor of Des Plaines to make Des Plaines a sanctuary city?
I support that. I think we should have Illinois be named a sanctuary state. We need to reject the teachings of hate coming from this administration. We didn't just end up with Trump. The Republican Party has been teaching white people in America, white Christians, to hate. They've been being taught to think of African Americans in terms of hate, Muslims in terms of hate. Blame Muslims, blame African Americans, blame Latinos, blame Jews for the problems of our society. And that's how lots of white people who are working class or poor or middle class have been voting against their class interests by voting for these stooges of the very rich. And that's what Trump is. And that's what Bush has been. They are people who do the bidding of the very rich, but pretend to be in support of the white working people and white middle class. We need to understand that, and then we need to change this by uniting around what unites us, which is a desire to have this be a country of prosperity and freedom for all of us.
I just want to emphasize that this is not a partisan message. This is a message against hatred and bigotry used by any platform, any party at any point in time. There are those within the Republican Party who are great people, hats off to them, no issues. Those who are not and abusing their political power to put out this kind of hatred, that's what we oppose. We oppose the issues and not the parties, and not the politicians because they belong to a party, but because of what hurt and harm they bring to our Americanness and our humanity and our Muslimness, etc. Sir, in the back. Yes.
So if those who are green card holders and they are eligible for applying for the nationality, is it a good time for them to do it, or they should
Those who are applying for citizenship, should they pursue
who are
it?
eligible to apply for citizenship.
Okay, from those 7 countries, we've heard rumors that they are going to hold those cases in abeyance, which means they won't process them until at some future time. I don't know if that's true. People who are eligible to apply for citizenship, in my opinion, should apply. They should always use the precaution that if a person has certain convictions for criminal law violations, or they've been out of the country for extended periods, or they got their immigrant visa or permanent residence status by fraud or misrepresentation, they should not apply for citizenship but should consult with a lawyer.
Now, just for us to understand why this is so problematic and why we're so angry and upset and concerned. When you think about those questions and the issues that we're talking about, there's no element of security involved. There's no action that someone did that we're questioning is this a threat or not. This is people's identity. This is somebody who's been here 20 years, it wonders if they can complete their citizenship process, but now is being told maybe you can't. Not because there's new information introduced about that person being a threat or another, but rather because of where they were born. So let's take a couple more questions and we've got to tone it down.
I just heard one news that in Quebec City, 3 people they went to an Islamic center and they opened fire and they killed like 5 people over there. So details are still coming. So
I haven't heard that.
I just heard that actually while I was coming.
I'll follow up on that as soon as I leave here, but I've been out.
No, so in that regard, what you suggest for
increase your security for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's something we've been saying anyway.
Yeah.
Brother Fuzzle, and everybody knows this. Cameras are working. Doors are locked when you're not in service. Be vigilant. Look for suspicious behavior, and ensure that your monitors back there is monitoring
The
everything.
one thing I want to encourage you as Muslims to do, it is super important that you open your community and your lives and Islam to your Christian and Jewish and Hindu and Buddhist neighbors. But the more that Americans who are not Muslim understand about Islam, understand about it will be easier for you to build the support for all of you, your community. Don't be insular. Be opening. Welcome people to the mosque and talk to your co-workers about your lives as Muslims and what Muslims believe. It is very important to talk to your neighbors. Make Islam something that people know and understand and care about, and make people understand your religion as a religion of peace and justice.
Thank you.
Last question.
I have a question. So my in-laws, I'm a U.S. citizen, my wife is a citizen. So her parents, they're Pakistani citizens, they got a visit visa last year. So they're planning to travel in a couple of weeks here on the visit visa. So do you see any problem with that issue coming from, I know Pakistan is not one of on the list, but
Pakistan is on the list. What I would make sure is that they, in arriving here, know the address they're coming to, they have their cell phone numbers in case immigration wants to verify where they're going, to the extent that they have ties in Pakistan, property ownership, jobs, businesses, they should bring that proof with them, the same proof that they brought to the consulate. You should know that if someone arrives at O'Hare with a visitor visa or any kind of visa, the immigration officers have a copy of the visa application and a copy of their pictures and copy of the documents that were presented at the consulate. So if someone says something different than they said to the consulate, then they're going to be sent to secondary inspection for sure, and they may not get in. The more they show their ties to Pakistan, the more likely it is they will be admitted. What the government is reviewing, and they're supposed to review under the law, is are they likely to return to Pakistan if they come here as visitors. Make sure that you're at the airport to greet them, and that make sure they know your cell phone number, so that if the CBP officer wants to verify the information, that you're available.
Yeah, my question is a little bit different. It's not exactly the immigration. Some of the people I know, they said that their green card has not been renewed. They have
Their what?
Their
Green card.
Green card. Yeah, I don't know. So is it going to be affecting on those people too?
I'm sorry.
Renewal green card.
He's talking about public aid.
Okay. When someone's green card is going to be expiring, they need to file a Form I-90.
Not the green card. Some of the people I know, they said that their green card, they have green card.
Public aid. Public
Link
aid.
card.
Public aid.
No, I don't believe that anyone with a link card for food stamps or any of those programs is going to experience a problem.
One quick question. This executive order came out as a surprise on Friday. So, looking what the direction things are heading into, do you have any recommendation for the naturalized citizens who are in the country, not necessarily just for those 7 states? If somebody shows up at your door or asks a question, any strategy how things should be followed besides reaching out to you?
Well, let me just tell you, the general advice we give is that if you're contacted out of the blue by someone at your door, that you take a card, don't say anything, step outside, close the door behind you, get their card, and say that your attorney will contact them. They can set up an appointment where, in the presence of your attorney, you can be asked questions. I presume you're talking about the FBI. So that goes in general and now specifically as well.
The FBI always shows up in pairs. They will make you think that they're your friend, and they will try to get you to say you don't need to have a lawyer present. Don't believe them. If the FBI is trying to talk to you, the response is, I will be happy to talk to you when I have a lawyer present, and I'm not going to speak to you unless I have a lawyer present. Step outside your house, close the door. They have no right to enter your house unless they have a search warrant.
The last question, because we really have to go to our next appointment.
Is there a public information on about how did they decide on these 7 countries?
No.
Okay, let me tell you, if they were concerned about terrorism, those countries have not been the source of any individuals who are committed terrorist acts against the United States. In fact, the country with the most people who were involved in September 11th, I believe, is Saudi Arabia, and they're not on the list.
Or some other countries?
Yeah, and our attitude is, it's not about, what about them, they're not on it, they should be, it's rather, none of them should be on it, because people are not terrorists based on their nationality. They're not terrorists based on their religion, or their color, or where they come from in the world. They're based on their individual evil choices, that sometimes together they group up and do it in a group, but it's all individual decisions. It's not national, genes or faith values, okay? So we're going to leave it at that, yes?
Just repeat your contact information.
So, okay, CARES, first of all, let me just say, go to the website, carechicago.org, C-A-I-R, CARE, C-A-I-R, Chicago, it's one word, .org, okay? There you will find our email addresses, our phone numbers, information about our banquet, February 18th, called Resilience, Standing Strong. Hope to see you there, tell your friends about it. All the information you're going to need is going to be there, okay? And if you need to find me, I'm on social media.